So if you want to take a minute here, guys, do that.
We've got plenty of time because there's not much to talk about.
Yeah, it's a little bit of the same, I guess. For me, what's tricky about this market is that there's no real like narrative to latch onto at this moment. It's a bit kind of wobbly back and forth. You just have to be super nimble intraday to pivot, but makes it a little trickier to kind of
Yep.
yeah.
It's in a small range inside a bigger range. So,
hmm Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like a triangle that we're trading in right now in SPX. It's getting pretty tight. It's getting pretty
mhm.
close. So we'll see.
Yep, exactly.
Hmm.
Should be a little cleaner
What's
soon.
the big I guess the big pattern that you mentioned is that big triangle, right? And then the small pattern is the balance that we've been in. Is that
Yeah, yeah,
yeah? Okay.
exactly.
hmm
All right, I think we're good to start here.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'll start with some of the overnight action on ES, and then the most important gamma positioning on the tape. So, what I'll say first is that yesterday, the main focus we were talking about most of the day was whether or not we could reclaim the prior day low, which would have been the Tuesday low on SPX. And basically, we got a relief rally into it and then just kind of chopped underneath it and rejected it, and we're basing underneath it. So, overnight, we were able to reclaim that Tuesday low on SPX, which allowed us to move higher. We traded as high as 75.10 in the overnight, and now we're kind of just chopping above and below 7,500 since then. And as far as the gamma environment and the gamma positioning for today, it's not super clear, and I'm gonna wait and hopefully get a little bit better read once some of the positioning changes after the open. At the moment, the only real read is that 7,500 is the largest node on the tape, and it currently feels like it could be kind of sticky to me, that we it could be a choppy pin magnet. Now that can change with positioning changes later in the day, and we could unpin from it. So I'll be watching for positions to change above and below us to kind of get more of a read. But at the moment, I think 7,500 could be very choppy pin to start the session, where it's difficult to sell away from it. It's difficult to move higher. A little bit, zooming out a little bit, if you're able to clear 7,500, you can try to test 7,515, and then 7,535 would be the two resistance above 7,500. And then, holding below 7,500, there's not a whole lot of strong positioning below us. You could fade into 74.65 area. But like I said, I think the main thing for the moment is that it's going to be tough to move away from 7,500, which could make for some difficult action, especially trying to trade individual names if we're kind of stuck to 7,500. So I'll be looking to see what changes after the open. That's my read as it is for the moment. The other thing I'll say is that if we do get some positioning changes that act as a magnet that are higher, we are in a positive, light positive gamma, light supportive charm zone, which could favor a trend to the upside if we get some positioning develop above us. So I'll be watching for that. Otherwise, I'll be sitting on hands, and I don't really want to engage anything around the 7,500 magnet.
Yeah, makes sense, man. Absolutely. All right, Mate, you're up, sir.
Good morning. Yeah, so I think you said it well earlier that there's not been too strong of a narrative to latch onto for individual names. We are getting a bit of a move in back into memory and chips. Hasn't been the cleanest trade this week, but we are getting a pretty good move. So watching AVGO, they also had a catalyst yesterday. So today is day two, but we're gapping up about 3.5%. We have the SK Hynix ADR coming to the US. I think that debuts tomorrow. So a number of things kind of going on here, along with analysts, saying it's time to buy the dip and MU, SNDK, and they're getting a pretty big move here in the pre-market. So the one thing to note with pretty much all of these names is they are pretty extended going into the open. But like AVGO, as we mentioned in the morning note, is trying to reset on dips. So that's what you want to look for. You want to look for things that kind of cool off on dips to set up an entry. And since writing the note, this is kind of playing out nicely on AVGO. So big picture AVGO, we're breaking out of this consolidation on the daily. It's a name that had been very strong and had a pretty big gap down that got it caught into this formation that's now breaking to the upside. So 406, 407, really big level to reclaim. This is where that had kind of ping ponged around and held for several weeks prior, and since then has even reacted in a pretty big way at that spot. So if bulls can reclaim it, on this momentum that we're getting, it could be a really nice long for a move higher. So nice volume, trying to reset RSI. A lot of things to like here. So I'm going to focus specifically on AVGO around the open and intraday. So if you see a really fast move, the premiums might be a little hard to trade on this name specifically. But oftentimes on names like this, we'll get secondary entries that we can look for. And the main target is going to be around that 420, 426 spot on AVGO. Now, if you start to fail 400, it's a bit hands off for me. That's what I got.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So I don't like anything really. I'm having a hard time this morning, kind of seeing what's out there. And I'm saying that while acknowledging that we are seeing a nice little bit in some individual names that have been sold into for a while now. So a lot of these memory names, these AI tangent names, NBIS, SNDK, MU, WDC, AXCI, some of these, So, we're getting a bid here, a bounce, but there's no real kind of narrative that can latch onto. These bounces have been sold into fairly quickly, so I'm expecting the same here, but we will see. So my approach to today is more of a, stay patient, maybe observe, see what's moving, and then, catch some intraday trades, scalps. Also interested in SPX if it starts moving. We do have a small watch list that I would like to kind of roll through here. The first one I'm going to skip QQQ just because it's too far off. But just I'll mention it. I'm still watching that 703, 700 area. If it breaks below, I think we're in a bit of a downside mover. Otherwise, we're still in a range. So not a whole lot there that I'm interested in. Netflix, gapping down. And so what I would say here is that if it can recover 75, 76, it could be an intraday trade. It's been relatively strong, still very choppy. So here, once again, it kind of shows it's been a trickier day to put together watch this, but Netflix I've been kind of tracking for over a week now, and so I'll continue tracking that. USO, due to the I guess kind of global climate out there with the some of the war headlines that might drop. I'll keep an eye on this one. This one has over the last 6 months or so been really good at kind of been really good to trade when it comes to like kind of bad war headlines. You can pivot to this one if you don't want to short the market. I think a hold of this 110, 111 area could be something to watch. Trickier candidate here, but one worth kind of keeping on your list. Other than that, Apple, I think Apple is still acting strongly or strong. It's red. You can see what happened yesterday. That kind of reversal that we saw intraday. Um, very, very kind of good sign of relative strength, right? As the market started to recuperate some of the losses, early losses, and once we started getting that V-shaped recovery, you saw Apple, lead that, became one of the first ones to turn off of that 306 area, recover 310, 311. We actually closed near 314. So for me, it might not be a trade today. It might. The market starts pushing. I think Apple could see all-time highs, but I'll be watching the red to green move, and I'll be watching that potential push towards all-time high. So I'm going to stay nimble with Apple. I think it might be in a little bit of a range here until we see a larger move, but definitely interesting. UNH, I think, is looking good still. I scalped this one yesterday, as you all know. I traded the move towards those highs. Quick trade, but then I was really quick to cut once we took some profit because of what it did, and it closed near the lows. So a little bit of a failed breakout, uh, but technically the pattern is still intact, and it is slightly green here in a fairly kind of red tape, I would say, other than some AI names and stuff. But UNH still looks fine. I think it's one to watch. If you catch another kind of go at that 430, 431, you might catch a nice little move higher. Just one outside of this tiny watch list, Eli Lilly, still holding 1200. It's holding kind of an ugly reversal yesterday, but sitting in a nice pattern on the daily as well. So if you start seeing UNH pushing, I would say watch Eli Lilly uh, as another name to kind of ride that momentum. And I'm just gonna pull this out of the hat, SNDK, because I know a lot of people are going to ask about it. It's a nice bounce. It's up almost 6%. Does it hold up? That's the question with all these names. If it does, I think that 1800 in the past has been a good pivot to watch. Once we broke above 1800 on June 11, we saw that real nice expansionary candle, and then we saw this nice move to all-time highs around 2350 or so. So this, the market remembers, and so let's watch this 1800. If these names, there's some take profiters near the open. If the 1800 holds intraday, it could be a nice little intraday setup to watch set up, right? And I'm going to say the same for MU, right? There, I would watch that 970, 1000 area to hold. Otherwise, there's a nice little gap below to get filled. So, yeah, let's see. I think the day will, I think, develop, and we will look for some trades. But for now, there's not a whole lot that is super clear to me. But lucky for us, we have Sarang with us today, and he's gonna give us a few other names to look at.
Hey, hi everyone. So I think even I don't see much of names to trade today, but from the catalyst perspective, uh, AVGO is a day two setup. I think Mate covered very well. So what I'm watching is maybe just watch some intraday pattern. Actually, this name is not easy to trade these days, and we don't have any good pre-market structure also on this name. So what I'm watching is intraday pattern. If we form some kind of a bull flag or something around 406 area or trap below 400 and then reclaim this 406 area, I'll be looking to take a trade call on this one. But I want like SPX to be above 7,500 area. Second thing I'm watching is Meta for downside. I think Meta had a news. I like the daily structure also on Meta. If you look at the daily, this 580, 581 area we held two times, and now we are gapping exactly below, and we have a gap to fill around 565, 566 area below that. So if we break around 577, 580, so I'll be targeting minimum 565 on this one on the Meta. So I'll be looking to trade maybe 575 or 570 put on Meta. the one, and third one, uh, this is a small trade. CBRS actually, it got a news. I think they are setting up a biggest data center in Europe. So the stock is gapping up 5-6%. This 195, 196 area is the IPO level low. So what I'm watching is reclaim of that 196 area, which is pre-market high also. If we reclaim, maybe probably we'll target 200 and 210 on this one. So
What's
not
the name, sorry?
not
CBRS.
CBRS. Yeah. It's average kind of setup, not that great, but the news is looking good. So let's see how we set up. So sometimes these names, they don't react much and they work at open. So we'll be playing these big calls only on the CBRS. Lastly, I'm watching Dell. Dell actually, if you look at the daily structure, we had a nice peanut kind of structure. Yeah, it's forming. Yeah, that's the same. Yeah, so yesterday we trapped above and now we are like gapping up close to yesterday's high, like 438, 441 area. So what I'm watching is reclaim of this 441 area, targeting 450 and potentially higher on the Dell. But yeah, I think if 438 won't hold, so yeah, hands off for me. So I don't like the trade.
Cool.
Yeah,
You good?
that's
You
all from
done?
my end. Yeah, yeah, I'm done.
All right. Cool. Sorry, there's a little delay there. Sorry. Yeah, thank you, Sarang. All right, let's say I just want to go to Nvidia. Actually, one that I missed. Phone. So I think it's one to watch. Really big breakout yesterday. I think it's important to acknowledge that broke above and closed above 200. It was leading that move to the upside, and it's holding up nicely. So um, just if it could hold, if we get a backtest of 202, 203, it's worth watching a turn there. But the pre-market structure looks pretty good here, and it might just hold 205 and go. So this could be like a nice opening drive, maybe, Mate, to watch. Obviously, a break of PM high could see a nice move. Eventually, I have a 208, 60 resistance above, and then above that, 212.19, super key level. So NVIDIA, something to watch.
The structure is good for it, also
Yeah.
around the key level. That key level could be what's holding it back a little bit from some of the other gaps. And sometimes that will be like that catch up move where if it does accept price above 205, it could really start to accelerate. So, yeah, I like it.
All right, so NVIDIA looks good. I'm gonna watch it, and they'll likely make it tricky. Two ways. One, they either just gap up and go, or they'll just test and back test and then set up intraday. But either way, we'll watch. Couple minutes here to go before the open. I'll give us like 2-3 minutes, kind of reviewing some names. Uh, I think Dell is holding up okay, considering what happened yesterday. I think it's one to watch. Um, if it starts breaking 450, I think those all-time highs could come, something that we expected yesterday. Yesterday, remember, it opened up and just pushed. So maybe something like that. The larger pattern here on the daily is still intact. So it's very, very good. Baba, I watched that continuation move. I'm not really interested in Baba, but kind of noting that it held up nicely yesterday after the gap up, and it's kind of holding near the high. So keep an eye on that. Tesla is just nothing there. I think it's just Tesla is a black box for me right now. So um, not a whole lot to say there. TRWV, CoreWeave. Okay, so software name that's gapping up. Also, I don't see anything here. Just want to cycle through some software names. Net holding up really nicely. I think Net daily looks good. Nice inside bar yesterday, and potential to push. Something to watch. A little thin, but D-Dog daily looks good as well. Yeah, some of these are red, so if they go red to green, could be something to watch. Or if you want to kind of watch it before, that's cool too. My last name here, VRT. Give ourselves a few minutes to get ready here. VRT looks good. If it could hold its gains today, this one could be something to watch. The daily looks good. It's just gapping up above moving averages, like the 50 moving average. So my mindset with that is always like, does it get validated? Does it get back tested in it? And if it does hold on the validation, then it could be a trade. Right now, it's just harder because you might have people taking some profits. So, anyways, I'm getting myself ready here. SpaceX gapping up nicely today. Really ugly yesterday, but it's back above 150, right? So that's something to watch. See if NVIDIA holds that 203 here. Let's see. All right, guys, 15 seconds until the open. SPX testing that 7,500 area. Apple pulling back. Tesla a little bit of a dip here. And NVIDIA resetting heavily here. Let's see if it could hold at all. But that 203 is worth watching. You're having Dell testing 445 here, almost at 450. Yesterday's highs. Very strong move, guys. Dell, watch continuation into all-time highs. Tesla, nice turn here. Let's see if we can sustain and push above 400. At 7,500, SPX is going to be tricky. Can push above that. We could see a bit of a push. Pretty thin below here, Jay.
Yep, for sure.
AMD relatively strong, actually pushing through PM highs. Meta testing PM lows, extremely weak. A headline. SMH is up nicely today so far.
Watching AVGO 410 calls. Just skiing the lows.
Dell 450 reversal again. Here's your NVIDIA kind of support, something to watch. Nice turn, SPX. AMD really strong. Watching NVIDIA 205s.
Trying
I
this
just missed
long
my
here.
Yeah, I just missed my fill on NVIDIA, unfortunately. SPX 7500, quick turn, guys. I think positioning is building above. We need through the 7500. Jay, what's your take here with the 7500 05 here above? I
Yeah,
like
oh
the
05
35 here, maybe.
is oh 05 is going to
Hmm.
be tough to
Hmm.
clear, but a little bit easier if you get above there. Still would like to see 7,500 decrease and something above us increase.
Yeah. See if we can get a rejection of '05 here and then a 500 hold. I'm liking what I'm seeing actually so far, but I haven't committed yet. Dell back to 450, guys. Take a look at AMD. AMD is showing real nice strength, up almost 6% here. Holding 500 yesterday, coming back about 50, about 10% off those lows yesterday. Marvell looks good, 250 to watch. SPX, I like, guys. That 35 for me feels attainable if you can push through here. Just getting an alert near this 1230. Eli Lilly making a turn, red to
Okay,
green.
there you go. 7550 is growing a lot, 7500 is
Yeah.
decreasing. So if you can clear
Yeah.
7505 and then 7515, you could see a move.
Yeah, I'm liking those 7540s.
Yeah, 7500, now the largest node on the tape.
Can you say it again? Which one? 50?
7550, sorry. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
7550.
Nice. Premium is a little slow, guys, on SPX here, so just trying to stay patient here. Plenty of time, but I like that we kind of dipped it first today and kind of reversed very quickly. We might get us back to us here that we could look for here an entry. Marvel, really strong move. It's seen near PM highs and that 116 key level. You can see SPX kind of, yeah, those premiums a little dragging a bit here, guys, those 40s. VIX collapsing. Yeah, UNH, I'm watching that 430 again, 431. Good strength on this one, but choppy. But clearing 430 today, I think there's a higher odds that we can get a bigger move today, UNH. Target would be 436, 437.
At a stop at 245 on ABGO at Birmingham.
I'm watching along here, guys. SPX, okay?
Well, ABGO up 1%.
All right, so I just got filled there at $3, the 40 calls and 540 calls. Natural stop would be below 7,500 if you want one. I just got filled at bucks, guys. $4, a third. Targeting 15 here, and then we'll see. Setting up for, I would say, a trend day if we could break above 15.
Yeah. Clear 15 as long as we hold 95 to 500 and that magnet stays there. It can always close
Hmm.
later and get a rug pull, but as
Hmm.
long as the charm flip and 7500 holds, trend day up into 7550 possible.
Guys, UNH is trying to break out. Okay, I'm in SPX. I'm in SPX, but UNH is valid breakout play here. Watch for the breakout and it back to us, back to yesterday's highs. These SPX premiums are dragging again around this 10 area, guys. UNH 435s would be something to watch. They're about 80 here. If you get that breakout, it's holding up really strongly. Guys, these premiums, I'm not trying to be downer here, but these premiums should be around 450, 460, above that. Kind of dragging a bit here. I would like to see them move a little faster, but also aware of VIX, what it's doing. So just gonna give this a little time.
So I will just have us prepared. If we see the magnet above closing and then we fail
Hmm.
back underneath 7,500, the rug pull very much possible. You could give this whole thing back well back into yesterday's close. It's pretty thin below 7,500, so just something to be
Yeah,
aware of. As
yeah.
long as this position at 7,550 is there, it'll act to kind of pull us higher.
I'm adding a stop at 280 for this SPX long. QQQ holding up really nice today, relatively strong. I just took some off um, at 350. My stop is still around 280. I'm not loving this move, so I'm just kind of easing out of it a little bit.
$1,800 back test on SNDK here.
Mhm. I'm liking UNH, guys. I just got filled exit all out here. Just hit stop on that last third SPX. UNH 440s are about 70 cents here. Watch this breakout here.
$1,900 calls on SNDK with pretty much a scalp that holds the back test here at 1,800.
Anybody caught UNH for the scalp here, guys? Nice little. See if you can accelerate. Still kind of chugging along here.
I'm trying this 1,900 call SNDK. It'll be a tighter stop just below 1,800. See if it can hold until higher. ATR is above 1,900 on the session.
IWM very strong here, guys, on this turn.
Turn on SNDK there.
Yeah, beautiful. Well done. SPX, nice little turn here, SPX. Those 50 is above our closing, though, right, Jay?
A little bit, not concerning yet, but a little bit.
Those UNH calls, just tracking them up about 40, 50% almost from the 60, 70 cents. Nice expansion. So let's see if they break. Hasn't broken yet. All right, SPX, nice turn. Remember the other day we were watching the 7520 on SPX to break for that squeeze into the end of the day. We failed, right? That's where we kind of cascaded lower. So that was not a spike base, but it's a very important area of resistance where we sat for a few hours. We're revisiting that area here now. 75 point.
That little spot here, 15 to 20. Those short nodes, if we clear that, it gets thinner towards the magnet.
But with all that said, guys, 75 40 calls or $4 here. Okay, so let's see if they can rip these, but very, very, very slow. Steve, you're mentioning you've seen it too, right? I'm not imagining this.
Indicate premium's paying pretty quick here, about 25%. Like the hold for a move, and we have a key level at 1895 and plus money TR at 1931. Given the way that the market environment is, I'd like to hold on to some size into at least the target. But you're welcome to take partials if you prefer.
AMD just one of the semis that are really, really strong today. I want to position myself for this break, 7520.
Because I'm taking 1/3 off. We do have the 9 EMA on the daily on SNDK here, so it's a good reason to take a partial plus up 30%. We can get through it. We've got 1895 and then 1931 above.
AMD no chill, huh? All right, I'm watching 40 calls again. Stop will be 50%. Size accordingly. Nvidia breaking that 201.73. Are we getting the first half an hour close here soon? Orb high will be 75.20. I might go a day out actually. Yeah, I'm gonna give myself a little time here. At least a day.
Not a big pop.
Meta.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's starting to kind of squeeze up. Last candle.
Watching 75.50 expiring tomorrow on this pullback.
Right. A little bit of caution. 75.50 closing out a little bit
Mm-hmm.
more.
Mm-hmm.
As long as we hold 7,500, it's fine, but not exactly what you'd want to see this early. 75.50 is still the largest node on the tape, which is still helpful.
Yeah. All right, guys. I just got filled. 75.50s for tomorrow. Just take a look. Okay. Try to make sure the date is right there. Yeah, Meta testing that 600, very strong. Meta launches first paid AI developer model. Another stream of revenue, I guess. It's giving myself some time just because might take a little time. Also, just insulating myself from some of this chop chop. Tesla coming back really strongly, a little bit like end of day yesterday. UNH looks good, still kind of validating that break and holding. So it looks a lot better today than yesterday. 50 is kind of closing in a bit here, so we'll see what they do with it. All right, watch UNH here, guys. This one could move to, as I said, 436.7, 440s. I don't know what they are right now, but there were something to watch. Tesla squeezing, guys. $3.99 is the 20-day moving average on Tesla. All right, SPAC's pulling back here. Nvidia 200. That's not helping us, guys. Big level to hold. Starbucks moving. I don't know why I have an alert here, but I do.
74.45 and 74.40, 45 put spread now added with the call spread above us closing. Not a great sign if 7,500 were to fail. Yeah, I would be cautious if might get one more test of like 95 and back above 500. If 95 fails, it's very thin, and then the new
Mm.
magnet would be 74.45, and we would be out of the supportive zone also. Right now, it's just a possibility. It doesn't have a trigger yet, but the signs are there that starting to favor the downside.
We're back testing, or we are at where we were a couple of days ago, where we closed basically July 7th. Apple's trying to bottom. Nvidia 200 here, best to hold. SNDK holding nicely. I guess 95
Yeah.
must hold here.
Yeah, 95 must hold. That's the back test. We failed out of charm and just back tested it there. So now, if 95 fails, mostly thin, probably pull towards that magnet.
Or if we fail 95, I'm out. Just go to the beach today. Eli Lilly, nice bounce. UNH, highs. Tesla, back to lows. Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh, but it's just psychotic, that one. All right. Just got filled, guys. All out here, unfortunately. All out. Just got filled. All right. Yeah, happens sometimes, guys. It's all good. It was worth a shot. Um, but things kind of changed as we're in the trade, so not a whole lot we could do about it. Dell holding up really nicely. Watch that break, Dell, guys. As an intraday pattern, 450 psych level. Nice call out earlier, Jay, regarding positioning and potential reversal.
My trail stop got filled on SNDK, FYI. I like SNDK if 1800 holds, but I'd rather be flat here and see what the market does. Maybe back above 7500. Could be something mid session. Like Monkey was saying earlier, it's important to stay nimble in this environment. Later stops. If any other scalps set up, you like anything out there right now, Monkey? I don't really see much, to be honest.
No, I think I missed the only one that I liked, which was UNH. I was a little early yesterday with it. Came back today and broke and it's holding me. Dell actually 450 I like is an intraday pattern to watch. Also
Mm-hmm.
watching that. Um, I do think SPX could turn here. I think if it break back above 7500, but yeah, it's been tricky because they keep shifting things intraday. So,
Mm-hmm.
but if I could give you two names, be UNH, maybe on pullbacks because it's in a trend day, and then Dell still could break out day two, breakout towards all-time highs. Dell 450, watch intraday pattern, psych level. Yeah,
Yeah, at
it's
least that
breaking.
pushed.
Yeah, beautiful. Looks like Sarang is trading Dell here. Just noticed. Quick, yeah, it's breaking out here. Quick break
Yep.
here on Dell.
Really fast. Nice.
Yeah,
These trades, right? SNDK looks okay. I mean, if it keeps holding, if you guys want a wider stop still in, use 1800. Might have just got shaken and baked out of that one, but see. Very fast 30% on Dell.
yeah. Nice trade, Sarang. You can hear me? Yeah, but it was a bit too fast as we were talking about it. Just kind of popped. So turning with the market here. IWM near highs again, guys. So there's some rotation. SPX actually bounced off of where we closed yesterday. That area, which we actually traded end of day, if y'all remember.
Here's the back test of 7,500. So sellers would want to reject here and then make new lows. If you were able to reclaim 7,500, you can invalidate the downside. Also a back to short opportunity.
Yeah, I might be taking a long above 7,500. I'm gonna size up a bit. Watching tomorrow. 7,550s. Just got filled. Let's go. I think those sellers kind of dropped the ball there. We also filled the gap properly this time, and we bounced.